Good, right, man. Tyler Joseph, Never Change, man. We haven't done one of the solo Tyler Joseph joints for a while, and I've never done this one. I've never done this Never Change one. So yeah, it's cool that we're actually doing this one. So yeah, Tyler Joseph, Never Change. His early work, I love his early work. I actually just love all his work. It doesn't actually matter. It's great form, as you know, creating all music out of 3 specific categories: sound, content, blah blah blah. You know the story. Let's rock and roll. Let's go.
Sometimes I live, I hate. What is wrong with me?
I love that. Sometimes I leave, I hate. What is wrong with me? Right? Who even knows? Just what is the point of that? What is the purpose of that? What does that provide to your life to actually hate on people? Do you know why people do that? It's because they're playing from an insecurity standpoint. They're playing it from their insecurities. They're playing it from their lives that they are not happy with. Because if you're content with who you are as a person, why would you care about what other people do? Why would I need to hate on somebody when I'm content with my life? The only reason you do it is because you're not content with your life, right? And it kind of saying exactly that. It's like, what is wrong with me? Why would I do that, right? Let's go.
When I am late, but you would never say I'm going down. You would never stop searching, lost and found. 'Cause I don't understand why you would care.
See, now this is coming from an insecurity standpoint. I felt at this time in his life he was so insecure, right? It's like almost like he's saying, I don't know if he's talking to himself or he's talking to somebody else, but it kind of feels like he's doing both at this point in time. Like, you would never say I'm going down, but you would never stop searching, lost and found. Now, in terms of him looking for himself, searching for him looking in the lost and found to sort of find himself or other people, right? People say it could also be played from other people would say you're not going down, or you would never say as if you don't think he's going down, right? So I'm not entirely sure at this point what sort of angle he's playing this from, but let's carry on.
I don't understand why you would care. I don't know why your love is unfair.
See, again, this is why I'm saying it. This is coming from an insecurity standpoint. It's like, I don't know why you would care. Now, this is obviously people. You would get that type of sort of response from somebody who's sort of depressed, sort of down in a dark space, and they don't want to see the light. Like they don't want to sort of like introspect a little bit, and they'll just be like, I don't know why would you care about me, right? Because that's what people do. People care about people. Like, people don't want to see you in those sort of situations. And I kind of find like I say, there are real issues of mental health. There are real issues of depression, right? But I kind of feel like in today's society, I feel like a lot of people, you don't know what the real is from the fake anymore, because a lot of people fake it for the attention. And there are so many people who do that. Like, there are so many people who fake it for the attention and then sort of play into that negativity because it's kind of trendy, right? And that's unfair to the people who really suffer with mental health issues, because it's really a real problem, right? But in our modern day society, it kind of feels like people play into that unfairly so. They play into that narrative because it gets them the attention that they seek, right? And I feel that that's very unfair. Okay, because for somebody like this who really, really suffers from mental health issues, and has fought his entire life for that and for the people around him with that, right? It kind of like sort of you're taking away from the good fight. You're taking away from the battle. You're kind of cheapening it, and that's that kills me. This is why we need people like Tyler Joseph to make it real.
Your love is unfair. You will never change.
to himself saying, well, you will never change. I'm just destined to be like this, right? But from another perspective, he also I kind of feel like he could be saying, you will never change who you are as a person. Like, you will never change the fact that you care for me, but you don't have that understanding, and that's why I feel that your love is like unfair. You don't get me, you don't understand me, and your love for me is just, it's unfair. Like, I don't understand you. I don't feel it's real. But I kind of feel it's more towards, he's saying to himself, like, I will never change. Like, it is who I am.
Sometimes I live for you, for them, and there are times when I could care less, and I will never say that they're going down.
Okay, I like this. So now he's not only talking about himself, he's talking about the people closest to him, right? Whether it be his fans, whether it be his family, it doesn't matter, right? I live for you, for me, and then I live for them, but I would never say that they're going down. I would never do that, okay? I get that.
And I will look for them in this lost and found.
That's amazing. That's kind of him saying, I'll never give up on the people I love. I will always look for them in the lost and found, right? As they would do for me.
In this lost and found.
Beautiful way to put
'Cause
it.
I don't understand why you would care, and I don't know why your love is unfair, 'cause you will never change.
To that point, obviously it's beautiful. I know exactly what he's getting at, and I love that. But that whole thing is like, when you say, I will never change, this is what I am. I don't agree with that. I feel people are very, very capable of change, right? But they need to believe, they need to, a lot of the times when you're playing from insecurity space, you're playing from a very dark space, and that's why you can't see it. You're clouded, there's a cloud over you, you're blinded, so you consistently, like I say, you're in a box of mirrors. So every single time that you're just looking at yourself and you're criticizing yourself and criticizing yourself and criticizing yourself, you put yourself in this box of mirrors, right? And I'm saying, put yourself in a box of glass and look outwards. Stop looking inwards all the time. Stop looking at yourself. Stop looking at yourself as this negative thing, this negative energy all the time. You're never going to be capable of change doing that. You're never going to be able to ever float on a cloud, loving yourself, always putting yourself down. This is why I also love laid backs, love and positivity. Like love yourself and be positive with yourself, because you are so special. You are so unique. There's only one of you in this world. There's nobody else. You can't get more unique than that. There's nobody like you. That's the most unique thing you can have, is just being you, right? And I kind of feel that when you give up on yourself and when you sit there and say, and you play there's a lot of people that will just play victimhood and say like, well, this is just who I am. Right? You've given up on the battle. You've given up on the battle of life. You've given up on the positivity in life. You've given up on all of that. And then you not changing is not anybody else's fault. It's your own. It's your own. That you don't want to change. Change happens with your decisions. Change happens when you accept that. If you are not willing to ever accept that, it is nobody else's fault that you are in that position. Nobody else's fault. I don't care what your upbringing was. I don't care what your anything was. If you are able to change anything in your life, you are able to do that. You are able to change anything. I don't care what it is. There has always been options. You can never, ever, ever tell me that you've tried everything and that you've still failed. There is unlimited options. You haven't tried anything. You haven't tried absolutely everything, right? So it comes a point in time where if you just say, well, I'm just never going to change, it's always going to be like this, that blame then falls on you. It is not the world's fault. It is not society's fault. It is not everybody else's fault. That falls on you. When you accept the fact that you have a purpose in this world and that you are able to better yourself day by day, right? All of a sudden the world starts looking brighter. All of a sudden the world starts looking brighter because you go from a victim mentality to a victor mentality. A victim mentality is always going to keep you buried. Always. You're never going to get out of a victim mentality. That's going to keep you buried. right? That's never going to advance you in life. You need to consistently work towards a victor mentality. I can do this. I can get over this. I can achieve this. I can. You can do absolutely everything. But if you fall back on that autopilot in your head, that autopilot is eventually going to make you crash, right? Take the controls. It's your life. It's your plane. It's your destination. Take the controls. Because at the end of the day, if I had to put you in a train, right, and I had to sit there and say, okay, this train, now a conductor comes on and says, this train is headed for, like, it's headed, there's going to be a collision. There's going to be a head-on collision with another train, right, in about 10 to 15 minutes. Now, you're on this train with a whole bunch of people that are representing Earth, right? You're on this Earth with a whole bunch of people, right? Now, will you sit there for 10 minutes and be like, oh, well, this is my inevitable end. Like, there's nothing I can do about it, right? Or will you say, I don't accept this. If I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down fighting. Where are those controls? And those controls might be in the 23rd cart, and it might be a long run to that 23rd cart, but you fucking try anyway. And even if you die, you didn't die in the very last cart. You died close enough to the controls that you gave yourself a fighting fucking chance. Right? Don't be the guy at the back of the train in the very last seat who has just been like, well, this is what's going to happen. I'll wait to derail. Fight for it, because you know what happens? The chances are when you get up and run between carts for those controls, the chances are you're going to get the controls and you're going to take control and you're going to take control of your life. Right? But if you never ever try, you're doomed to derail. So it's important to actually know that you're worth something. It's important to actually know that you can change. You can never lose hope. Right? Let's go. I'm not too with the whole you will never change. It sounds too negative to me. For me on that song, it sounds a little bit too negative because I actually think as human beings, we're consistently changing. This is how we evolve. We evolve because we change. We evolve because we learn more. We evolve because we interact with different people. We evolve because our minds are consistently shaping the way you used to think when you were a kid, to the way you used to think when you were a teenager, to the way you used to think when you were in your 20s, to the way you used to think when you were in your 30s, the way you used to think when you were in your 40s has consistently changed. You as a human being are consistently changing. Your thought processes, your patterns, your likes, your dislikes, your insecurities are consistently changing. So how can we have such a negative approach to something by saying, oh, I will never change? Rubbish. Rubbish. You as a human being, you as a physical being on this earth, right, have been designed for adaptation. You have been designed for change. It is impossible that you can sit there and say, I will never change. It's a choice and it's your choice. I love you all, man. Please stay safe. Please stay healthy. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.